And then there should be representation of citizen rights. There should be cultural stability. I'm so happy that yes, Pakistan, as though Pakistan scores low in rule of law, Pakistan scores low in voice and accountability, these World Bank definitions. This where yes, Pakistan is still a developing country. Pakistan can perform a lot better because China has been able to perform really good. East Asia has, it's again in the neighborhood of Pakistan, and India has done that, and Bangladesh is a very stable economy, though there was political instability for a while. So this region represents cultural stability more so, but now then, for a decade or so, there is again this identity politics being played out in India, whereby Muslim rights are being violated. There's discrimination at the highest level, at the level of Prime Minister. For discrimination is promoted, rhetoric is promoted by BJP and the office of the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And so one has to be contributing, continue moving forward, whether you have tough life or not. So when you start this kind of thing happen, you wonder. I mean, of course, maybe the secret is looking at how AI performs in social media. What I was thinking, and suddenly Allah ne something like this, that there can be some kind of a complex algorithm, like which can, there is an algorithm which can predict weather, that when it's going to be raining and exactly where it's going to be raining. So there is an algorithm where they would already know that there are clusters of information. There are some kind of a clusters of information, and people are gonna talk about that. There is kind of a trend. I mean, marketing does that very often, and businesses do that. Marketing and branding tries to understand what is popular, what is hip, what is in. So there can be an algorithm whereby these companies or even the government would say, okay, so most of the people are going to be talking about this. I mean, there could be a set of information outside which there could be many other information. So what people suddenly, there will be an algorithm identifying, okay, now I talked about marriage, maybe there's a lot of marriages that are happening, people are talking about it, and suddenly the government plays that ad. I mean, of course I'm privy to it. So I said, when this happens to you a lot of time, that one then wonders and try to being a middle-aged man, of course, and being father of two daughters, Rania Daud and Mina Daud, I don't want any controversies in my life. And I, being an Islamic citizen of an Islamic country, of course, I never want divine retribution, my friends. Of course, I never want divine retribution. A confusion by this created. I don't want divine sending angels of destruction towards me. I'm on a serious note. I've written a lot about divine conceptualizations and moral agency. I take these subjects seriously. But then, it's an interesting world. It's a very interesting world where information education can make a lot of difference, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So coming back to ISS, I started as a very young man, 26 years old, and suddenly I went to a PhD students meeting, and everybody was so happy. They were mostly, they were old. All PhD students were older to me, and they said, okay, Mamoon, you are going to be the representative, and I was happy. So I took that responsibility and moved on. Within a few months, there was a new rector, Luke, Professor Luke, Dilarai Luke. He was great. He was a graduate from California University, a Dutch rector, amazing person, above 60 years, distinguished professor, and already had management positions. And he floated an idea that Institute of Social Studies is going to be the part of Erasmus University. And behold, everybody was concerned that maybe their jobs are in question and threat. So everybody was in a position. Whereas I thought I had I also had because I was a student of ISS, and I knew that if ISS would associate itself with a university, Dutch university, things with ISS is going to change. Students are going to be facilitated. There will be a new world for ISS students. We are maximum 200, 300 students every year. So I had this, because I worked on these ideas. I observed, I had friends in mainstream universities, and then studying at an institute, it was natural to then conclude that, it is because ISIS is a small institute. It does not have a voice for its students. It does not have those opportunities which are available to Dutch universities. So I said, I will support you, Mr. Rector. Luke did arrive box, and he was happy. But then everybody was quite astonished. And so when I'm kind of when I was in Netherlands, I used to do marathon, and I used to go for long run to the beach. So what I would say that that my kind of from a slow pace, I started running at a little bit faster pace, because then opposition started emerging even between the faculty, PhD students, and even the master students. And definitely I would say, yes, my friends, as you can, Nawaz Sharif there can be a dictatorship in Pakistan. Musharraf can trample democracy and send Nawaz Sharif to exile, or very recently Nawaz Sharif again went to exile because of certain rule, that judgment of the court. It's a world. It happens in the Western world as well, my friends. Now this politics happens in the West, and it is so, it is now so convenient to prove it because of identity politics emerging. When I was living in Europe, they would say, what? That's history. That's ignorance. What? You are writing a thesis where you are talking about conflict between India and Pakistan? Oh, this is, Pakistan has to be blamed. India is such an evolved nation state. It's a secular nation state. They're educated. And this must be, this the war on terror is also happening, so it must be Pakistan, and you are talking about military understanding Pakistan's issues, Pakistan's army's issues, that it's a professional army, whereas we are telling you that military expenditure is a non-development expenditure. Why you are trying to fill out these strategic studies, these diplomatic idiosyncrasies? We don't care. So that would make me a little bit more, controversial. People will be looking at anything which I would say, and they can make it as part of the gossip. That okay, he's promoting dictatorship as if. Whereas I was writing articles that with an educated, I always take an educated method. I started writing articles where I would say that Musharraf should put off his uniform and he should bring back Nawaz Sharif and Benazir Bhutto back to Pakistan. But again, it didn't help me, but it helped me. But when I'm gonna conclude, you will know how it helped me. So there is a journey started of opposition, of he has supported being student representative PhD program. Luke Dirarabos, the rector, has now had the support of the PhD representative, a student, a PhD student who's of course an academic institution is for the students, and I was representing PhD cohorts, which is a very responsible position. So professor was not, my own supervisor had qualms, and he was kind of not agreeing with me. And as I started this as the years passed, I could know that I'm a controversial person. And of course, being living alone and writing PhD, it's not easy. You focus on your PhD as well. You already have compromised your social life. You're spending long hours in your office, so what I learned hard way, that that life is not really ideal. You have to really be considerate to what kind of opinion you have, irrespective of the fact. The reality today is, after within few months of me getting graduated from Institute of Social Studies became part of Erasmus University. In my PhD degree, there is no mention of university, and therefore when I submitted it to the HEC would say, "Oh, this is ISS. We want a university degree," and it's a lot of problem when I applied for the jobs. Then they changed the entire design of PhD. I got a PhD degree in a red kind of cylinder kind of a thing, a big PhD degree, whereas now it is kind of blue. I was wondering, and surprisingly, it's been 17 years, and I'm following ISS social gatherings, whereby even the Dutch Queen is represented. The Dutch King is represented. ISIS is kind of has a presence in Netherlands, especially in The Hague. And lo and behold, I never see Professor de la Rive Box, the rector. I never see him. And ISIS many times have claimed, oh, because we are part of Erasmus University, now there are more professors, more faculty members have been promoted to professorship, full professorship. And what it has to do with me? I had a right opinion. And imagine, in Netherlands, information asymmetric, lack of understanding, and lack of patience. That could even happen in Netherlands and make somebody controversial without any iota of retribution, any that I may go through. So anyway, I started maybe having some anxiety. I went with ISIS rather would take me to a psychiatrist to say, okay, maybe this person judging whether he's feeling anxiety. And they say, okay, imagine they were like, not even doctors, they were nurses. They say, oh, so what message do you have for us? I said, well, excuse me, I'm a PhD, I have so many messages. You want to know about the messages I have for you? If you can tell me who you are. And then, nobody cared. Then they say, okay, so you go and take this medication. Anyway, I started taking medication. Now you can just, this story I have told you. While I came back to Pakistan, I told me that I should take rest. PhD is too much taxing on my cognition. I should go in Pakistan and take rest. Here also I saw a doctor, a psychiatrist, a professional. He said, okay, I don't think so you have such a significant problem, but maybe you should just few months you take this medicine. Anyway, I went back to then finalize my PhD in 2008. While I was finalizing my PhD, I brought the medicine from Pakistan, and I was feeling okay, great. I was doing my gym, I was doing my marathons, I was really working. I nearly rewrote my whole PhD thesis, considering the comments of my supervisors and external examiners. Which, one is World Bank's most popular known economist, Branko Milanovic, and I rewrote my thesis. Even revise the data. When you are revising your empirical strategy, you have to revise the data, include more variables. Yet to go and find variables which can be instruments. So I revised it and I was very happy. And then another thing is, Professor, I don't know, it was the top administration which represents the office of the rector. They gave me a faculty office. There are PhD office and then there is faculty office. Now I had a faculty office among all the faculties. And I could guess. I was lecturer at Qaid-e-Azam University. I was permanent faculty member at Qaid-e-Azam University. And suddenly, what was my age? Maybe 24 years of, I had 24 years of age. And suddenly I was exposed to the real world. That people come to you as a 24-year-old, I would say boy. His nephews are now 24, 25, and I think they are kids, they are just boys and girls. That age is formative age still. It's not, you don't get mature at 25, 24. The world is, there's too much knowledge and information to really understand the real world. At that age, 24, 25, you have to spend most of your time playing with friends, playing video games, having a great social life, and going to college and university and studying or listening to your parents and your uncles and aunt or grandparents. So anyway, 24 years of age, and people would come and start doing politics. And of course, I had no understanding. And I made myself a bit controversial here as well, because I was young. So I was like, okay, I know a little bit economics. I could feel that I know economics because I've already done my master's from Institute of Social Studies. A bit of controversy happened there as well. But most importantly, should that happen in Netherlands? I was amazed. But it's kind of a non-starter now, because Europe is every day making headlines because of the identity politics, because of the war going on there, because now Europe says, oh yes, it reminds us now, yeah, there can be wars. I mean, there can be wars and there can be conflicts, and Europe is at risk of war. So what I was saying, before I was leaving to Pakistan, and then I never went back to the Netherlands or to Europe, I went to see the doctor to get prescribed medication, and he laughed at me. The doctor